Welcome to the Rethink Sales Show. My name is Derek Kelly. I am joined by Jim Shorkey. And Jim, what is your favorite vehicle? Hold on, don't answer. It's probably not the Tesla Cybertruck. You're not necessarily a Tesla guy. The Volkswagen Beetle was discontinued in 2019. It's a cool vehicle. Probably not your thing. But I feel like your favorite vehicle has some sentimental value to it. And I think it's important for the audience to hear why and why that vehicle matters. Yeah, it's a car. At the end of the day, you're not taking it home with
Surprised
you.
you don't know the answer to this question.
I do know the answer to this question.
How you can be the greatest salesperson on the planet.
Answer it then.
The 1957 Ford Fairlane 500.
Wrong.
Darn it! What is it?
It's the car that we just sold
Whoa.
and delivered, and it's paid for, and the paperwork is done correctly, and we have a happy customer driving that car down the road. That's my favorite car. The
Wow.
one that we just
You
sold.
got me.
Major chill in my body.
Me.
That's my favorite car.
Yeah.
I get so excited. Literally, the guys at the dealership, not all of them, but some of them, let me know when they sold a car via Facebook. And they'll say, congratulations to
I see
Derek
it all the
Kelly.
time.
He
Yeah.
just bought a new van from Anthony Tanilli. Anthony, hopefully I said your name properly. Anthony, you're a great guy. I love you, man. And so he'll put it on Facebook that Derek Kelly just bought a car. And I just hit it with a like. That's my favorite car, the one that Anthony Tanilli sold just now. I love that. I still get excited. It's a dopamine hit for me. And I have my personal cars. And, to a degree, you're right. The 1957 Ford Fairlane 500, my grandfather had one. But that's not my favorite car. It's truly not. I love it. I love it. You saw the MG today. I love my MG. I love my 47 Chevy. I love my 59 Chevy Apache truck. I love these vehicles. But my favorite car, anybody who knows, ask my brother Russell what my favorite car is. It's the one that we just sold. That's my favorite car.
That makes a lot of sense because you end up, what you always talk about, love the team, love the customer, and they get to walk away proud. Not just the salesperson, but also the customer.
And we've done our job as a team. And I'm very proud of the fact that I sell cars. When I was 5 years old, first grade, they had this question that they asked you, what do you want to be when you grow up? I wanted to be a car salesman.
Wow.
And I know that was because of my dad. I know that. My dad sold cars, and I wanted to be like my dad. But I wanted to be a car salesman. So first grade, second grade, high school, I graduated from college. I was asked that question, what are you going to do now? I'm going to sell cars.
Yeah.
I want to sell cars. Graduated from college December of 1978. Guess where I was on January 1st, 1979. And I'm very proud of myself that I'm a car salesman. I don't think it's a sleazy job. I don't appreciate when people talk negatively about car salesmen. I don't like it. And I never wanted to be that. I wanted to be the best. So I sold cars for a year, and then I was moved up because of my abilities. And we've talked about that. Bring more value to the hour. But still, at the end of the day, I always sold cars. Even if I was running a sales team, I took such great joy. We had a board, and we would write on that board. It was what's a poster board type thing?
Yeah, yep.
And that's how we kept track of who was doing what. And every day, we would write down on that board, under the salesman's name, it was a column, what they sold. And then if it was delivered, we would green it out. And if it wasn't delivered, we left it white. Yeah. And over time, we would follow that board and say, well, wait, what's going on with Derek? I see it's still white. What's going on? Let's get that done. And so, is it done, Derek or Mr. Sullivan? Yes, it's all done. Paperwork. Okay, good. Green it out. And we celebrated.
Yeah.
We high-fived.
Yeah.
It was always a great joy. So my favorite car on the planet is that one that we just sold. Put it here, man. Good work.
Yeah.
Good
and you
work,
built
Anthony.
this passion in your kids. I had a guy I was talking to recently. He loves our podcast. And he said, I don't know how Jim did it. I said, did what? And he said, I don't know how he got his kids all passionate about the car business. He's like, I can't get my daughter passionate about one thing that I care about, let alone all four of my kids passionate about.
I told my kids, this is no bull. I can't make this stuff up, guys. I really can't. I said to my kids, point blank, I said, please do not talk to me about the car business. I don't want to talk to you about the car business. I love the car business. I'm very passionate about the car business. So if I talk to you about the car business, I'm going to talk you into it. So if you want to get involved in the car business, you're going to have to come to me and sell me. I'm not going to sell you.
Yeah.
And you know what? They're all involved. I have a massive chill right now, and they love it.
Legacy.
I ask them, I'll check in with them, just like, we should check in on different aspects of our life. And I say, are you happy with your decision, Jim the Third? I love the car business. How about you, Russell James? Love it. Daniel, you sure? Oh, man, I love it. And they have that high five, handshake, hugging. We love selling cars. Katie, my daughter, now Katie is involved, but not as much as Matt is involved. Matt is Katie's husband, and Matt is like a son to me. And I told him the same thing, like, don't talk to me about it. If you want to get involved, then you come talk to me, and you got to sell me. And that's what they did. And Matt loves the car business. Katie loves the car business. Jim III loves the car business. Chelsea, Dan's wife, is very much involved in the dealership, and she loves the car business. And then there's Jamie and Ashley. Did I get them all? They did at one time, but now they've got a lot of responsibility in their world. So they're not as involved as they were at one time, but still they have a very high degree of passion and respect for the automobile business. So several of the Shorkies have been involved in the business over the years. Did I get them all? So there's my brother Russell's the youngest. There's Catherine and Dave Ash. They're school teachers. They live out east.
Yes.
There's Mary, my sister, and Dave Shannon. Dave's involved. Mary is involved at times, sometimes more than other times.
Yeah.
Gretchen was very much involved. Of course, I was involved, and Amy very much involved.
Yeah.
Melissa and her husband also teachers. Dave Long is a professor. He's retired now at Shippensburg, and Melissa also retired, was a teacher. And then there's Elaine. Elaine is a very proud member of the Navy. Thank you for your service, Elaine. And she's retired as well in terms of the Navy. But yeah, we're very passionate about the car business. We love the car business. The car business has been very good to us as a family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just so cool to hear your stories of just you being passionate, your kids being passionate, and talking about your favorite car actually being the car that helps the customer and helps the team. It shows that you live it.
Proud. I'm a proud.
Yeah.
You hear me say this all the time. People throw darts at me for saying this, but I'm just an old, worn out car salesman. And guess what?
Yeah.
I love it.
So, Jim, I want you to inspire somebody.
I did the right thing. I love selling cars.
I want you to inspire the person listening today because you're just such an inspirational guy. So what if somebody's in a tough place with their sales and they say, oh, Jim, what are some good sales strategies for these tough times? What would you suggest?
The first thing, you're talking strictly sales. The first thing that you want to do is you want to learn how to sell more effectively. And you may already be a rock star, but can you improve? And there's huge money in that improving, right? An apple a day keeps the doctor away. 2 apples a day is going to help you out even more. 3, and then throw in some spinach and whatnot. We get that. We got to do our push-ups, whatever the case may be. So with respect to sales, seek expert counsel. Find somebody who has done what you want to do successfully and have a conversation. And so I'm going to recommend a book to you, and you don't know what it is.
I don't.
You have no idea. There's a book written by a guy by the name of Og Mandino. It's called The Greatest Salesman in the World. Is that what you want? Is that what you want? Do you want to be the greatest salesman in the world? And this book is a story of how to sell. And there's these scrolls. And the first scroll, I think, I've read the book multiple times. The first scroll is, I will greet this day with love in my heart. I will greet this day with love in my heart. Do you think that's a good idea?
Absolutely.
I will greet this day with love in my heart. From that book, which, by the way, is $13, $10, whatever, on Amazon. Not what it costs you to buy the book, what it costs you to not buy the book. I will greet this day with love in my heart. And I think this might be a scroll. I don't really recall, but Hafiz said this repeatedly. It was an affirmation. Failure will never overtake me if my determination to succeed is strong enough. Failure will never overtake me if my determination to succeed is strong enough. And so with these scrolls, once you get the book, I would recommend a book. Like I said, $10, 12, 13, whatever it is. You can Google it. If you find it, just put in the comments, just put what that book's going to cost you to buy. And then remember what it costs you not to buy. And so there's a process that you go through where you read the scroll out loud every day for 30 days. And then you move on to the next scroll. And you read that scroll out loud every day for 30 days. And then you go on to the next. And there's I think it's 13. It might be 10. I don't really recall. But you know what, guys? Back when I was trying to figure things out, I started my self-improvement journey on March the 1st, 1993. And my dad died on March 24th, 1996. But I just wasn't really doing what I should have been doing. I read it, but I wasn't executing it properly. But I can remember after my dad died, I had that book, The Greatest Salesman in the World, which somebody had recommended to me, and I'm recommending it to you right now. And I can remember, I'm telling you, I would stand and I would lean on my bedroom bureau because I couldn't stay awake. I was so tired. And I would read that scroll out loud, and then I would go to bed. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, you're supposed to read it once in the morning, once at night. So I would get up in the morning, and I would read it again. I did exactly what Og told me to do. It's a game changer. It's a lot of positive affirmation. It's a lot of pump up. You can get a recording of The Greatest Salesman in the World.
It's a really good story, too. Underlying
great.
narrative to it, too.
It's a very
I won't
spiritual
spoil
story.
it, but
no,
yeah.
it's a very spiritual story.
Yeah.
It really is. I'm not going to spoil it either. It's a very spiritual story. So if you're into the things like that, then this would be right up your alley. So the greatest salesman in the world. Who's the greatest salesman in the history of the world?
Not sure.
How big is Christianity?
There's different numbers, but some people think it's like a third of the world.
Where did it start?
In a small town of Bethlehem with a group of ragtag ordinary people,
Nope.
12 of them.
It started with one guy,
Yep.
Jesus Christ. And then he sold the idea to the apostles. And then what did they do?
They turned into 72, and then 72 turned into...
And what
Sermon
happened? They
on-
got
yep.
their freaking
Yep.
butts whooped.
Yep.
Rejection? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And there's a lesson in that whole thing.
Yeah.
What are you supposed to do when you knock on the door opens,
I don't want your
you
seeds,
do your
Jim.
thing,
Yeah.
door slams in your face? What are you supposed to do?
Knock again.
Well, that's me.
Yep.
No, but they didn't really say that. They just said, dust
Yeah.
yourself off and keep moving.
Yep. Yep.
That's
Yep.
what they said.
That's right.
I think it was dust yourself off. I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm not
Yeah.
a biblical scholar. But yeah, greatest salesman in the world. There's nobody better. Nobody. I don't care what your religious belief is. I don't care. I don't care. I don't really care. I'm not a biblical scholar, but I can tell you it's pretty hard to deny the sheer volume of Christians in the world today.
Yeah.
And how did that happen? One guy, 12 apostles? One guy, 12 apostles. That's a movement, dudes. So
yeah.
and that, so hint, the greatest salesman in the world.
Great book. Great book.
I'll leave it at that.
Great book.
Hint, hint.
Yeah. It's I remember reading that book and I'm thinking, like, at first you're like, you're reading it and you're reading the scrolls every day and you're like, where is he going?
Yeah.
And you get to the end, you're
found out.
You're shocked.
You found out.
Yeah. So guys, check out that book. Jim, thanks for talking me through your favorite car, which I thought was something that it wasn't, and also how that really led to your personal development change and you changing and you growing and encouraging the audience to say, hey, if you're stuck, if you're like, this is a tough sales time for me, learning how to sell that next car and learning how to love the team and love the customer led you to a place where it wasn't a tough sales season all the time.
No.
And so for those people
absolutely
that are stuck, my question to you is like, how do you help them? And you said, check out this book. So guys, it's like Jim said in the last episode, what does it cost you not to buy that book?
Oh my God.
Could be so
Millions.
much.
Millions.
Yeah.
Millions. Glad I bought it.
So check out that book and check out our Rethink You program.
I really don't want to be overly salesy here. And
Yeah.
I feel like I've talked about that enough, but that would be my first piece of advice would be to get that book because it's literally whatever it is, 10, 12, 13 bucks, something like that. I'll look it up when we're done here. And then I would buy Rethink You. It's amazing. It's just the documentation of what I did to recover from bankruptcy imminent after my father died.
Yeah.
It's what I did. And I really couldn't even express it, what I did, without the help of Chuck Bellina and Steve Gardner. And then from there, not me, they got Derek.
Yeah, because they were lost. They were like, okay, we're selling some of these and it's going okay. We really think we need to
Excuse me.
bring this message out to the masses. And how do we do that?
But also, you guys also, that's Rethink You comes from these guys, not from us, not from Chuck, not from Steve, not from me, not from Rob Hoffman. It comes from this guy right here, sitting here.
Yeah.
And all he did was take what we had.
Yeah.
It'd be almost like as if you took The Greatest Salesman in the World by Og Mandino, wonderful book, but then you took and interpreted it into what you made of it.
Yeah.
And so that would develop another book. And that's great. And that's what we do in life.
I remember that. I remember sitting down and thinking, okay, Jim Shorkey's Success Blueprint, and Brad and I sat down with a team of people.
Yeah.
And we said, what do we love about this? So we picked all the things out. Okay, what do we not love? Okay, it's a little bit too much about Jim Shorkey. Let's make it more about people rethinking themselves.
Yeah,
And then we said, well, how do we work on that? Well, Rethink You. Maybe one day it could be a university. Rethink You. And then it just developed from
Yeah,
there.
it still is. And the interesting thing about it is that, and I said this, and this makes no sense whatsoever. I know that. But I said that we used Rethink You to write Rethink You.
Yeah.
So it's just another process. Remember, success is a process as well as unsuccess is a process. And so what happened was we had this thing called Journey to Success, Chuck, Steve, and myself, and they just interpreted what I told them and put it in writing.
Yeah.
And then these guys got a hold of it and they reworked it in their own minds, and then they presented it to us, and it was like, you guys nailed it.
Yeah.
And I can remember this like it was yesterday. We sat and looked at colors.
Yes. And
What's
fonts.
the color of this going to be? And the colors that we have, they created. And we just, what do you think about this?
Yep.
I like that. What about this? I like that better. What about this? No, I don't like that. And we kept going through that. And we just came up with this based on a consensus. It was actually a consensus amongst the whole
Yeah.
table.
Yeah.
And Brad was there. And I don't know if anybody else was in the room.
I
or
think
not.
Sierra, our web designer, she was here
I
once
think
or
you're right.
twice.
Yeah. So we just went through it. We just kept. It was a true, in the parlance of Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. It was a true mastermind alliance. Yeah. And a mastermind alliance is two or more people who get together with a common purpose. And the idea is that those two people, each person has two ideas. Now each person has four ideas. What happens when you get, in that case, 5 people, and you have 4 or 5 ideas from each person? That's 25. You actually have to cut it down.
Right.
Too many ideas.
Right.
But that's what a mastermind alliance is.
And that's what gave us a 2-year growth plan. We came out of that with, okay, here's our 2-year plan,
Yeah.
B+ plan. Let's execute it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jim, thank you.
My pleasure.
And guys, I hope you're inspired to rethink your sales and to, like Jim, remember the purpose of what you're doing. His favorite car, he has a lot of nice cars, but his favorite car is the one that ultimately served the customer and served the team. So Jim, thank you for keeping it very humble.
Oh, I'm very humble. I have to be, because I know the danger of being arrogant. If I find myself being arrogant, I got this lady downstairs. Her name's Amy. She'll slap me upside the head.
Yeah.
She will.
Yeah.
It absolutely is awful. Arrogance is awful. And I'm not a big fan of the law of attraction. Sorry, I know, throw a few more darts at me. But I am a big fan of the law of personal attraction. I don't believe there's this magnetic force out there that by me doing certain things is going to draw stuff to me. I don't think that. But I do think that the law of personal attraction is real. And the more personally attractive I am, the better my results are going to be. So Jim Rohn said, things get better when you get better. And he said, go to work harder on yourself than you do on your job. And I did that. And I became more personally attractive, which made me a better leader. It made me a better team member, the whole 9 yards. Yeah. But if you take that opposite of that, the opposite of that would be arrogance.
Yeah.
It's not attractive at all. And it pushes